Hello traders, this is Mike Billion. Today is March 24, 2015 and let's talk about the market. Let's start with the S&P 500. We're gonna go to the spider. The spider, as you can see here, is holding this support, this trend support, and the Fibonacci support 208.55. That's major support, but I also see support at this trend line. Now, if you see DMI, you can tell it's bullish, but it's getting very weak because ADX is going down and there is not much volume. Now, I know you will say, well, the S&P doesn't need volume because we have seen the S&P going up and up for years without much volume. I agree. But I will think that the trade here is to watch this trend line, watch this Fibonacci, and see if we can get to the top. I think myself we have a 50% probability that we're gonna go from here to the top, a 30% that we're gonna move sideways here, and a 20% that we're gonna break down this trend line and we're gonna go to the bottom. Now there's also support here at 197.50. So this is my scenario. I give you three scenarios: 50%, 30%, or 20%. It breaks down. So now let's talk about another one. Let's talk about the iShares Russell. For that, I use the IWM. This is the iShares Russell 2000 ATF. Totally bullish. You can tell here it's making new highs. I don't see weakness. Usually when you see weakness and the small caps, it means that everything is gonna go down. And this is totally bullish. You can tell DMI is bullish and strong, and there's still a lot of room for this bull to go probably to 130. I think this is still bullish. I probably is gonna pull back a little bit to 124 before continuing because nothing goes straight up like this. You know, it has been making new highs for many days. It's a nice trend line about the 5 simple moving average, but I think it's gonna rest soon and probably test the 124 area, this area. So if you break down the 124.75, it's probably gonna test the 20, or it's probably gonna move sideways here and go to 127 and then 130. It's totally bullish. Now let's talk about the Dow Jones. For that, we're gonna use the DIA. That's the Dow Jones Industrial ATF. And you can see here this trend line that I have been talking about in many videos, but ADX is getting down, is on 14, so I think it's gonna move sideways here. Sideways, and you need to watch this trend line. You have to have this line in your chart because it's a breakdown here, and the S&P also break down there, this thing is gonna go down. But again, 50% probability we're still going up, 30% sideways, 20% we're breaking down. Now let's talk about Apple. Apple right here, you can see how strong is Apple right here. Very strong, nothing to say. You know, if somebody's telling you this is going down, I don't know, it's probably, you know, nothing moves up straight. You know, the stocks go up, 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 move down, 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 up, 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 and that's how they move. They never go straight up. Now, if you can catch one of these moves like this one, when you move from 110 to almost 130, that's the kind of trades you want to catch. So for that, you have to trade breakouts. So if you see right here, this was a perfect breakout of the triangle wedge right here, and it was very tradable, and many traders got this trade right here. And if we can see here, is setting up for a nice run. It's consolidating here inside this triangle, but if we break out right here, I think this thing is gonna go to 145. So keep an eye on Apple. The iWatch is coming, so I don't want to be in. I'm gonna be watching to see if we break out. But the iWatch, you know, is tricky. When they comes, people start talking about it. It doesn't work. It's not good. It's ugly. I don't like it. So it's very tricky to trade those news. You know, if you trade those news, trade it with small capital. Now let's talk about another one. Let's talk about BABA. I have BABA calls right here. I have the BABA stock also. I entered right here because it's holding this trend line right here, and I think it's setting up for a big move. Now, DMI is bearish right now. I thought it was gonna get a crossover right here, but it never happens, and it failed right here at the 5 and the 20. Now there's this support trend line that it needs to hold. It needs to hold the trend line. If this thing breaks down this trend line, this thing is gonna go ugly fast down, probably to 75 or 60. It needs to hold right here. It needs to break out. If not, this thing is gonna go down. You can see here back in October it was a support right here. So this is a major Fibonacci support. It needs to hold. If it doesn't hold here, get out. Get out, because this thing is gonna go to 75 or 60. But my thinking is, because it's consolidating here, it's making a nice base inside this triangle wedge, is that it's gonna break out and it's gonna go to the hundreds. Now, let's talk about Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs right here is bullish and strong. I think it's gonna go to the major Fibonacci resistance 197.59. Now you can put a trend line right here very easily. If you have a position, you can put a trend line right here, and if it goes and break down this trend line, get out. So you can use that as your stop if you're using long-term calls like May or July. So you can use this trend line, because sometimes you don't know when to exit a trade, but using trend lines is a good idea because you have a little space, a little room right here in case it goes down tomorrow. The earnings report is coming. It's probably gonna go down. I would like to buy it at this trend line. It goes a little bit down. I would like to buy some calls right here, but because I think it's gonna go up. Now let's talk about another one. Let's talk about Jill. I don't see anything on Jill right now. It's moving sideways here in this trend line, and I wanted to trade this one when it break out this trend line. I'm waiting and waiting. I don't see the breakout yet. ADS is very low, so I think it's gonna keep moving sideways here. And let's see. I like Jill long term using the stock. Every time it goes down, I buy, I buy, I buy, because the fundamentals are amazing. But the chart right now is just on hold. I'm just waiting. Now let's talk about Link. Link right here, there's a gap to close right here. You can easily see the gap. It is holding the 254 Fibonacci. If it goes to the trend line right here, you see this, how strong is this trend line? It's from May. It started in May, then it bounced in July, then it bounced there in October, then it bounced there in January. I would like to buy it at the trend line. I would love to buy it there. Or if it goes down and close this gap, I would like to buy it there too. Now it's bullish and strong, so it looks like it wants to break out this trend here. It looks like a bullish flap and go higher. So let's see what happens. Keep an eye on Link. Right now, it's very bullish and strong, and I think it's gonna make new highs. But I would like to buy it at a good price on the trend line, or maybe buy when it breaks out with volume. You have to watch volume always when you trade a breakout. Now let's talk about local. I wanted to enter this one, but using the stock. You can see here how strong it is trying to break out here. Boom, boom, boom. It's like a bunch of bulls hammering that level. It's 27.12. Boom, boom, boom. ADX is strong. DMI is bullish. I think this thing is gonna go higher. I think it's gonna go to 34. So I'm just waiting for a nice opportunity to buy at the trend line or to see if it finally break out so I can enter long. I like local, Pollo Loco. Now let's talk about Tesla. Very easy trade. Wait for the breakout. Wait for the breakout. You see this trend line? If you break out this trend line, go long. Right now, ADX is low, DMI is bullish, but if you break out, it will get momentum, and we can get a nice trade to 250 again. There is a lot of news coming up all the time with the Model X, the car Model X. So let's see if we break out right here, because I wanted to enter some calls here. This is a very tricky stock to trade, but if you go long right here on a breakout, I think it's a high probability trade. Okay, traders, please go to my website, check it out, sign in. I will tell you how to trade. I will show you. I will mentoring, and it's 100% money back guarantee. You don't have nothing to lose. You'll have a lot to learn from me. This is everything for today. Trade on.